and I'm back and it's time to quilt this quilt. So I'm really excited to quilt this up. I have a good pantograph that I actually got for a customer quilt that when she asked me to get it, I was like, oh, I don't know. But then I made this quilt top and I was like, perfect, I've got the great use for it. And even after this, I might have a second space quilt I could do. So I think it's called Blast Off. It's got spaceships and planets and all sorts of fun in there. So it's gonna look really cool on here. And I think I'm gonna do it in like my graphite gray thread where it's kind of a blue gray. So it's probably gonna blend in a lot here, but you'll see it out here on the borders. And then also I'm planning on my backing. I have a chunk of this because this has been the back of all backs. I have some black left over from the baseball quilt because I plan to fully back this in black at first. But now that I have that chunk of blue, I'm gonna do a strip of black, a strip of the blue, and then black again. So it has that little peak of this in the back to kind of tie in, but then because I'm gonna be quilting it with a color that's not black, you'll kind of get the outline on the back as well. So I think it's gonna look really cool on the back. And then in the end, I have this for the binding. So it's all gonna come together really well. I think it's all gonna mesh. It's all gonna look super awesome and I'm really excited to get it going. So I'm gonna go make that quilt back real quick and we'll come in and get it all loaded on the frame. Everything's basted in. I had to Frankenstein this batting so it is long enough, as you can see. And so everything's ready to go. I'm gonna go with this Blast Off pantograph design. Got some rockets and spaceships and stuff on there. And we're gonna quilt this out. So I've got a grayish blue thread on, so then it'll kind of coordinate here. And then on the back, since I did the black backing with a little bit of piece inset, in there, it's going to show up real nice on there. So that's my hope. That's my plan. I'm going to stitch out this first zone and then we'll see what happens. So the last zone just stitched out and it looks super awesome. And I want to give you a peek at how cool the back looks. So look at that on the black with that like blue-gray thread. It's going to look so cool when it's all laid out, and it's kind of like a night sky with these outlined on there. So I'm going to trim this chunk off because we know Trixie likes to eat it. Take this off the frame and then get it all trimmed up so I can put on some binding. It's time to come in for landing with our Park Place space themed quilt. And despite not even really fussy cutting these, I think the planets ended up quite nicely in the blocks. It did take a little focusing to kind of figure out, okay, which planets are upside down, which ones aren't. Some of them weren't as noticeable. Some of them definitely were. So I had to pay attention, like when this guy got upside down, it looked a little wonky. But otherwise, it's all really fun. And I love how the pantograph turned out in there. I used that graphite blue color, so it kind of gave a little something to my borders without it leaving them stark white, and just enough in there to give a little something. The pantograph, I believe, is called Blast Off, and it's from Urban Elements, but it all turned out really fun. It's a really good size, and let me show you how cool, a little peek at the back. Let me show you how cool the back turned out. So because I used that thread that was a little bit blue-gray, on the backing, it just looks super cool and super fun. And then here's that little accent piece in there to kind of tie that in, just to make it so it wasn't all black, and also coordinate with this binding. And I believe I still have some of this fabric. I know I have a lot of the space fabric, so there'll probably be another space quilt, and there might be some more of this blue. I don't know anymore. It's all a mystery in here with how much of this blue still exists. I'm gonna be finding it for years from now. But with this triple border, as they like to do with their triple borders, I think it looks really awesome because it framed up this white, and also with the binding, if there was a different color on the binding, I don't think it would have the same impact. But because the binding is the same as this outer border and the inner border, it just kind of gives it this nice, I want to say regal, but nice like framed up look without it being too much going on. So thumbs up for this triple border. I like it. And so now it is time for the quilt drop, so you can see this reveal all together and then the final photos.